Welcome to the quarterfinals of the StarCityGames.com Baltimore Open Weekend. I'm Cedric Phillips, joined by Craig Krempels here in the booth, and we are watching Collin Stiles do battle against Jim Davis. The winner of this match will move on to the semifinals. They're keeping their opening hands. We are ready to rock and roll. White Blue Humans will start with just a plains as we head Jim Davis's way. We'll see where Jim does want to start. Now, one thing we did mention over the course of this weekend, we've watched Man Company a few times here.
Yep.
No mana issues yet.
No.
It's been smooth sailing for Jim and Kevin Jones, who have played this deck into a pretty deep run. Now for Collin, it's a slow start.
It is a slow start, but as we were discussing before we cut to this match, Collin has some of those bigger cards in his deck that he can exploit. So Archangel of Ties, Archangel Avacyn, Dragon Lord, Ojutai, and so it's possible that he's got some of these haymakers in his hand.
For Jim, it's a Sylvan Advocate, and passing the turn. For Collin, he drew his card, did not have a land in play, so all he can do is pass back over to Davis.
Now that is a big dagger here. Collin had no 1-drop, no 2-drop, nothing on the board, misses his third land drop, and just puts Jim squarely in the driver's seat.
Here's an attack for 2 by Davis. Stiles will fall down to 18.
These are the stumbles that you just do not want to have when you play against someone on Jim's level.
A plains here for Davis, and it'll be a Nissa, a Vastwood Seer, which is going to search up a forest, and that'll be Jim's turn.
Another threat on the board. It ensures that Jim is going to make his land drop again next turn. You know, this is a great situation for him.
A Council's Lieutenant there from Stiles will be the play, and just a passing the turn. We're going to head over to Players Champion's way.
Collin just really hoping to peel a land there, or even a Knight of the White Orchid, put him back in this game. Looking worse and worse as time goes on.
Yeah, things aren't looking great right now for Collin Stiles, given the mana issues. Jim's hand, a little bit land heavy. He does have Dromoka's Command and a Jace over there. Unclear if he has Eclectic Company just yet. See if we can get a better look at things as we do go. But keep in mind, Davis does have a couple of lands in Lumbering Falls, a Forest, and an Evolving Wilds in hand. And now he's going to figure out how he wants to sequence.
Yeah, it looks like he's thinking about casting this Dromoka's Command right here. It's going to keep a lot of pressure on his opponent. It allows him to continue attacking while his opponent's stumbling on mana.
There's Dromoka's Command. Put a counter on a Nissa, take care of Council's Lieutenant, and now here is an attack for 5 points of damage. I like choosing Nissa here as well because that makes it a relevant threat. And if Reflector Mage works its way into the equation, you actually rather have Nissa bounced than the Sylvan Advocate.
Definitely, and it also speaks a little bit to the way that Jim thinks this game is going to go. He expects the game to be over before that Nissa transforms, and so it's just better to have it as an aggressive attacker.
Stiles has found land number 3. It's Plains. So he plays that very quickly. And now the question is, what you got, Collin? Because I have to imagine with no 1 or no 2, you have a 3-mana spell.
Yeah, it's got to be Reflector Mage here to keep him in this game.
Well, he does have a Reflector Mage in hand. He also has a copy of Always Watching, but I don't think it's a good time to play the enchantment, as it's not going to have much of an effect on the board. We have a quick update here for you, and we figured that matchup would go pretty quickly between Kellen Pastori and Christopher Giuliano. And Kellen is up a game very quickly. He's playing Mono White Humans. We had a feeling he might be able to be at least up a game because he's on the play.
Yep.
That plays a big role in things over Christopher, who was on the draw there. So Mono White Humans quickly up a game over White Blue Humans in our 2 versus 7 matchup.
And like you said, the Reflector Mage bounced Nissa.
Which is a good thing.
Which is
Jim.
A fine problem to have if you're Jim.
Yeah.
Yep. And he has Jace that's going to start activating. There's that threat of Dromoka's Command in his graveyard for later in the game. Just squarely in the driver's seat, like we said.
Here's an activation from Jim. He'll draw. Bounding Crassus is the draw. We'll figure out what he's going to discard here in just a moment.
And Bounding Crassus is an interesting one. We've been commenting on how slow Jace is to flip, but that's a card that can help you accelerate ahead of turn with Jace. If he wants to untap it and activate it again, he'll be that much closer.
That's a little minor thing that this deck can do, but it does come up sometimes.
Yep. Yeah, that's not priority number 1 for Bounding Crassus, but it's always good to just have more synergies in your deck that work together.
We have another update here for you. These Humans players are not messing around. Dwayne Graham does win game number 1 over Eric Heimel, as he is playing White-Green Humans, Eric playing White-Black Eldrazi. So they're getting ready for game number 2. Meanwhile here, between Stiles and Davis, Davis will discard an Evolving Wilds. Now Sylvan Advocate's going to attack. That's basically free.
Yeah, and Collin's in a position here where if there's a Dromoka's Command, he's going to lose to it anyway.
Yeah.
So you got to just block. And Jim's in the position where he's going to attack every time. Why wouldn't he?
Collin does block, so Sylvan Advocate and Reflector Mage bounce off each other for now. It's a Morph for Davis, a Lumbering Falls. And a passing of the turn over to Stiles. Stiles will draw. I think it may have been a Prairie Stream. It's much worse if it's a Port Town. And now this is a copy of Always Watching. Reflector Mage coming into the red zone. All right, 3 damage will get in. Ah, and it's actually neither. Well, excuse me.
Yep.
It's actually a copy of Meandering River.
He's got a couple of those in his deck to make sure his mana's really good.
All right. We've seen most players just play 4 Port Towns, 4 Prairie Streams, and then Night of the White Orchid to help with the Blue Splash, but Collin going a little bit deeper here with the 2 Meandering Rivers.
And things like that aren't free.
Yeah, this hurts right now.
Yes.
Back to Davis we go.
We see the Reflector Mage get big enough to control the board only for a turn. You know, I expect Jim to make another land drop here. The Sylvan Advocate's going to grow. There's a Lumbering Falls that is a problem for later in the game.
And now Jim has just found a copy of Collected Company.
Yep, he's already got Archangel Avacyn in his hand, so it's just an embarrassment of riches here for Jim.
That's just how does he want to go about doing things? That's the big question.
Yeah, and he's always going to be deliberate, even when things start to get lopsided.
Yeah, for sure. There's no rush.
He's going to win unless he makes a mistake, so let's just make sure there are no mistakes.
Yep. You saw the discard of Anissa, so Jim feels like he doesn't need that resource this game. Now, to be fair, that Morph likely to be a Den Protector, so it can get back Nissa or Dromoka's Command.
Yep.
Sylvan Advocate's going to come in for 4. Stiles will fall down to 9.
And it's important for Jim not to get too hasty, like rebuying the Dromoka's Command here and just using it immediately to keep attacking. If his opponent slams down Archangel of Ties, it's a big blocker and it ties up Jim's mana when he wants to attack or block. So leaving the Dromoka's Command in reserve to potentially deal with something like that has a lot of value.
Declaration in Stone was the draw there for Stiles.
Well, with Jim just passing, Stiles has to put him on.
Nothing. He has nothing.
Yeah, nothing.
Yeah, he has no cards.
Or Collected Company. or an Angel.
Yeah. Or Bounding Crassus.
Yeah, or Bounding Crassus. Or a Den Protector rebuying the Dromoka's Command.
Okay. So like we said.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Nothing.
Got it.
The coast is clear.
Todd Anderson has won his first game. He's playing Blue-Red Control this week, a number 6 overall seed. He's up again where Blake Conti was playing White-Black mid-range, number 3 overall seed.
And all of these thoughts are going through Collin's head here. He's thinking, what happens if a 4/4 Angel comes down right here? What happens if he casts Collected Company and finds 2 more threats? You know, what happens if I just play this Angel and he gets back to the Dromoka's Command? Is that a problem? So that's why we see him being very deliberate.
That's a lot of questions to be answered right now. Going to start with Declaration in Stone going after Jace. And Jim will let that resolve very quickly. There is a clue.
And that's a play that I like and I don't like.
Okay.
The Jace is a big problem. The Dromoka's Command gives Jim this redundant removal spell that also pumps one of his creatures. But on the flip side, Collin is already at 9 life. So spending a whole turn to get a non-threat off of the board is an issue.
Well, Collin just got a little lucky.
Tell us what just happened.
Yeah, he got a little bit lucky here. As Collected Company was the big whiff. 0 for 6 there for Jim. It's rare, but given that Collin has missed a couple of land drops this game, and it's just been a little slow out of the gates, that's the kind of thing he needed to go his way to be able to get back into this thing. So that one missed. Now, I think Jim is thinking Den Protector needs to unmegamorph to maybe get something back here.
Or Clue could be correct.
Also true. But it is Den Protector being unmegamorphed. A counter is going to make that into a 3/2, and Jim is going to get back a copy of Dromoka's Command.
So he's going to get aggressive here.
He will quickly untap, draw planes. And it looks like a Lumbering Falls is going to be fired up here, and Jim might be trying to go for the W right now.
Yeah. Yeah, with a land drop, he can activate the Falls. He can cast the Dromoka's Command and finish off the opponent.
Absolutely. Here is Dromoka's Command. Put a counter on Lumbering Falls, fight the Reflector Mage. It does have Hexproof, makes it very safe. Attack with everything, and that'll get it done. Jim Davis is going to win game number 1 here over Collin Stiles. Bant Company up a game over White Blue Humans. And for Collin, he's got to come out a little bit faster than that.
Yeah, the stumble at the start of the game. Tap land on 1, nothing on 2, nothing on 3, miss land drop. I think it was nothing on 4, miss land drop?
Potentially. I don't remember exactly.
You know, maybe it was whatever, the council's lieutenant, or just nothing impactful to the board.
Yeah, he's got to start with a 1-drop, or at least a 2-drop.
Yes.
And if he doesn't have a 2-drop, and Jim's had a Knight of the White Orchid, something like that.
Yep.
He didn't have any of that stuff that game. As we take a look at the sideboards here for both players, and we will start with Collin and his Dragonlord Ojutai. 2 Surge of Righteousness, 3 Negates, a Dispel, 3 Gideon Ally of Zendikar, 2 Ojutai's Command, 2 Stasis Snare, and a singleton copy of Tragic Arrogance.
So if we think that this matchup's going to get a little bit slower and a little bit bigger, a card like Stasis Snare, in order to win the battle of Archangel Avacyn, could be very important. It's also a little dangerous bringing that card into the face of Dromoka's Command that we've already seen in game 1. So that's a tough call if you're going to want a card like that. The Ojutai's Commands can be very good at countering a key spell and rebuying a creature for him. The Negates can be good in a matchup like this, countering a key spell. So there's a lot of tricky nuance here where it's not 100% what Collin's going to want to do. It's possible he wants to stay aggressive now that he's on the play, and if he wins this game, morph into a slightly more controlling, a little more counterspell type shell for the 3rd game.
For Jim Davis, a Tireless Tracker, a Den Protector, a Hidden Dragon Slayer, 2 Lantern Scouts, 2 Declaration in Stone, 2 Invocation of St. Traft, an Ojutai's Command, 3 Negates, and 2 copies of Clip Wings.
So I think the easy inclusion here are the Clip Wings.
Okay.
The most important cards in this matchup, once things start to get gummed up, all fly. So bringing in the Clip Wings are an easy add. Then it's a question of what removal does he want on top of that? Are the Declaration in Stones important enough to bring in? They dilute the deck a little bit. They make Collected Company a little bit worse.
And we just saw Mo for 6 on that.
Yep, which isn't going to happen very often. But if he goes a little more controlling, he can bring in the Tireless Tracker, you can bring in the Den Protector, and fight a longer game that way.
Well, there are the options there for both players. So we'll see how they elect to sideboard. Collin Stiles will be on the play. In the meantime, we will very quickly talk about the StarCityGames.com weekly sale that is taking place until Monday at 10:59 a.m. East Coast time. Head over to StarCityGames.com. Check out 25% off of all moderately play foils. That includes the Johnny Vengeance, Temple Garden, Cryptic Command, Terminus, and many, many more. And I know the old wife's going to have to go shopping for you here soon.
You know I love a weekly sale.
I know you do.
It means goodies waiting for me when I get home.
Well, we have this one until Monday at 10:59. New one for you on Monday at 11 a.m. StarCityGames.com. Check out our weekly sales every week beginning at Monday at 11 a.m. as we learn a little bit more about our 2015 Players Champion. That is Jim Davis, number 5 overall seed right now for this tournament. And no matter how this year goes, we're going to see him in Roanoke at the end of the year. So that's always a nice safety net to have.
Yep. It'll be his 3rd invitational top 8.
That's right. So 31 is the age for Jim from Long Island. We've got 9 open top 8s, 1 open win, 2 invitational top 8s on the resume as well for the 2015 SCG Players Champion. He DJs, he loves hockey, and he's pretty good at playing Magic too.
Yeah, I'm only going to be 3 invitational top 8s behind him.
Nice. You got to really work on that.
Which, well, the 0 is just a springboard for me moving forward.
Okay, gotcha. Well, you're going to be playing the Invitational next week.
Yep.
Got to start somewhere. Why not there?
Just
big deal.
Just scratch it up as a win for me right now. Have Star City mail that check ahead of time.
Okay, gotcha.
And it'll just be waiting at my house with the cards that my wife bought for me in the sale.
I see we've come full circle. Very well done. Quick update on things very quickly here for you. Eric Kimmel, number 1 overall seed with White-Black Eldrazi. He is currently down a game to Dwayne Graham and his White-Green Humans deck. So that's our 1 versus 8. Our 3 versus 6, Blake Conti, number 3 overall seed, playing White-Black mid-range. He is down a game to Todd Anderson in his Blue-Red control deck with Pyromancer's Goggles, Thing in the Ice, and Fall of the Titans. And then 2 versus 7, Kellen Pastore, number 2 overall seed with Mono White Humans, currently up a game over Christopher Giuliano, number 16 on our SCG Tour leaderboard, playing White Blue Humans. So I'll give you an idea of some of the action. And of course, we do have Jim Davis currently up a game over Collin Stiles. Right in front of you, Bant Company up a game over White Blue Humans. Now, I do want to point you a couple different directions once this match is over. One of them is at SCG Live on Twitter, hashtag SCGBALT. If you do want to join in the conversation, you can certainly do that. Talk to Craig and I and Nick Miller, of course. The other one is to our coverage page at StarCityGames.com, so you can see a metagame breakdown for our first Shadows over Innistrad event, where you're going to find a lot of Humans decks.
Oh, yeah.
In the old top breakdown there, because this deck is obscenely popular. All different versions. We've got 3 different versions in the top 8.
Yep, and you better be ready.
Yes, that's not going to change, I don't think.
Humans and Angels.
Yeah. This is the real deal. I mean, this deck is aggressive. All of the cards are very, very good. It's even got really good removal, and I think the big one for me is it's got good mana.
Yes.
No matter how you build the deck, if you splash green, you splash blue, or if you're just mono white, you've got good mana.
Yep.
Now these white-black decks, we'll see how those shake out.
It's still impressive. They've got all the best removal cards.
Yep, that's for sure.
They don't come out of the gates quite as fast. We see them get behind in some of their games and have to be very careful how they pick their way through the game to get back into it. But lots of powerful cards.
And maybe the most disappointing deck of the weekend that we haven't really seen very much of and has not looked particularly good on camera was maybe the red-white or mono-red Eldrazi decks.
Not great. I think the green-red ramp decks might be even more of a disappointment.
Yeah, those have not looked good this weekend.
Yeah.
World Breaker especially. I don't know if it's that thing's time to shine anymore.
Yeah, we saw a World Breaker chain that did nothing.
Yeah, it was outclassed by Awoken Horror, the transformational side of thing in the ice, very quickly.
It was not good. Not an impressive display there.
But yeah, there seems to be a new guard now for Standard.
Oh, things have changed.
Yeah.
In a good way, in my opinion. I think everybody wanted to see a little something different happen here, and we certainly have. So as we make our way through these elimination rounds, we'll see what comes out on top. And again, that's probably going to set the paces for both the Pro Tour in 2 weeks and the Columbus Invitational next weekend.
Yep.
Looks like these 2 players are just about ready to go here. And again, it'll be Collin Stiles on the play. Now, as we saw in the last game, he just got off to a really slow start, and I just don't think that's something that he can have happen again.
Yeah, I think he's got to be a little more aggressive with his mulligans in order to set himself up with a start that either has obviously more lands going on or more plays to the battlefield early in the game.
Yeah, he's really just got to get something going. A 1-drop, a 2-drop, hopefully some lands that enter the battlefield untapped, something like that.
Yeah, when you're looking at Jace and Collected Company on the other side of the board, Jim obviously has his own Archangel Avacens. You don't want to give him this position where he's just set up and using his spells however he wants to.
A Lumbering Falls there for Jim at Plains for Collin, 2 plains, and no play on turn 1 or turn 2 again. I'm a little surprised. Now, he does have a Declaration in Stone, so he does have an answer to a problem. He also has a copy of Westvale Abbey. It's an island. It's a Sylvan Advocate. Jim will pass the turn back with confidence over to Collin.
Yeah, once again, Jim's going to come out of the gates just a little bit faster here, and that just steals control of the game. In order for one of his better removal cards like Dramoka's Command to be good, he has to have a creature on the board. And when his creature always comes out first, he's going to be able to use Dramoka's Command to the greatest effect.
There's a Declaration in Stone. And Stiles will pass the turn back over to Davis.
With this slow start, without any pressure, Collin's going to really be putting a lot of pressure on himself to have his bigger impact cards do the heavy lifting.
Yeah, that means the cards like Dragonlord Ojutai, Archangel Ties, things like that, they're going to have to be great now.
Yeah, he can't afford to lose them to any of Jim's cards. And they have to come online immediately.
Collin's going to pass the turn back yet again. And now I'm just generally confused about what he has.
Well, he did have Ojutai's Command in his sideboard, so
Okay.
it's potentially sitting on an Ojutai's Command, but turn 4 is not the turn that you want to be passing to Jim Davis.
Yeah.
He can just play a land and pass right back and threaten Bounding Crassus or Collected Company as threats and still be attacking his opponent. And the whole time, the land drops make Sylvan Advocate closer to becoming even bigger.
Quick update for you as Jim is going to finish taking his fourth turn of the game. Eric Himmel has tied things up against Dwayne Graham, so white, black, Eldrazi, and white-green humans getting ready for game number 3 as Davis will predictably play a fourth land and pass the turn back. Here's an Ojutai's command from Collin, and I think he'll be playing the gain 4 life, draw card mode.
That is an expensive cycle.
Yes, it is. And he's picked up a couple of lands here.
And that's a card that I wouldn't be too excited about bringing in against Jim's deck because Jim can play this game where he just doesn't cast spells on some turns.
Jim will crack a clue, and it looks like Dragonlord Ojutai is going to be in there.
And he drew Clip Wings, the perfect answer.
Awkward.
Yeah. Like I said, Colin's just leaning on that dragon to pull him back into this game.
Well, this is the kind of game that favors Jim. It doesn't favor Collin.
Yes.
You know, if we're going to play this kind of do-si-do, I'm going to play a threat and we're both going to leave mana up a bunch, I want to be on the Collected Company side of things.
Yes, he looks at more cards, and he's got a little bit better control package in his deck.
Well, we have our first final result. As these players are working their way through the quarterfinals, Todd Anderson, he is through and through. 28th SCG Tour Open, top 8, and he is into the semifinals. Blue-Red Control takes down Blake Conte in his white-black mid-range deck, 2-0. You got one right.
Put it on the board, Cedric.
Okay. Yep, you're
Ding.
gonna be one of those.
Ding.
Keep track of how you're doing.
Chalk it up.
Okay. Well, just wait until you get one wrong and see what happens to you. As Sylvan Advocate comes across for 2.
I will change the subject.
Okay, fair enough. So Collin will go again.
Oh, and Colin's got to just be sick to his stomach a little bit when he sees his opponent play a tap land and just pass the turn with 4 mana up. You're staring right into the face of the Collected Company there.
Here's an Always Watching after that Reflector Mage. So Reflector Mage is now a 3/4. Pass the turn back as Craig is putting another one on the board here. As Kellen Pastor has defeated Christopher Giuliano 2-1, so Mono White Humans is through to face Todd Anderson in the semifinals.
If I were a wagering man,
Which you're not.
which I'm not,
But if you were.
but if I was, I would wager on what I'm not wagering on.
Yes.
Wait, did that make no?
No, not very much. Here's a Collected Company.
Well, I tried.
Reflector Mage is going to bounce Reflector Mage, and there's also going to have a Sylvan Advocate slide through there, and Jim will confidently untap, and I even think he has land number 6.
Yeah, Reflector Mage, not great, but when you're so far ahead, you're getting onto the board so fast. Just bouncing anything with his Reflector Mage here was pretty backbreaking. You know, we see Collin still at 20 life, but like you said, Jim's deploying his 6th land. Sylvan Advocate on the board. He's got another Sylvan Advocate in his hand. He just has it all going on.
Here's an attack for 6. Collin's not at 20 anymore. He's down to 14.
Yeah, and he's going to start losing that life total so fast.
For Davis, it looks like it's Jace now. Perhaps.
Jace seems okay when you already have Collected Company and Clip Wings in your graveyard.
Yeah, some good cards. Is now Todd Anderson is walking by the booth with 3 goggles on.
Yeah, he's showing us
Yeah, he's showing us the basketball goggles.
the old Trey goggles.
Yes. I'm going to assume that means he won the game with Thing in the Ice.
Very astute,
Thank
Cedric.
Can't get anything by me.
Pass the turn with 5 mana and just must not have anything.
You're up.
Coast is clear, boys.
A Duskwatch Recruiter is here, and Davis will pass the turn back with 4 mana yet again, which can, again, be so many different things. Collected Company, just an activation of the Duskwatch Recruiter.
Yep.
Could be a lot of different things. That's what it's going to be right now. So he'll activate that. Jace is in there. So is Hidden Dragon Slayer. He's going to take that one.
And when the opponent plays nothing and passes the turn, showing you that Archangel Avacyn hitting Hidden Dragon Slayer, just magnifique. Right where Jim wants to be. It's going to cost 1 less to deploy thanks to the Transforming Werewolf.
Yes.
Got it all going on.
Yes, he does the 2015 Players Champion. He'll draw a copy of Collected Company because, sure, why not? When it rains, it pours.
Yeah, let's just put this baby into cruise control and bring her on home.
Yep. Jim's got a lot of options here, so he wants to make sure he sequences accordingly. He's got to be feeling pretty good about his position. There is a Prairie Stream. And now here come the beatdowns. This will be 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 points of damage. Stiles is going to fall down to maybe 5. All right, so he's going to activate Westvale Abbey. Take 1.
So it wasn't even.
Or were you expecting Archangel Avacyn?
I was expecting an Angel. Not having an Angel there is almost the same as just conceding to me.
It's close.
Not conceding, but losing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Stiles did pick up a copy of Reflector Mage, so I believe he's got 2 of these to cast right now.
But only 1 blue source right now. I don't know if that other blue source in his hand comes into play untapped.
It appears as though it does not. The Meandering River not being very helpful.
The aptly named Meandering River
Yes, it is.
slowly makes its way onto the battlefield.
A collected company here from Davis might put this one away. Bounding Crassus and a Dusk Watch Recruiter. It's going to tap down that Reflector Mage. And Jim can confidently untap, maybe fire up a Lumbering Falls, but he's on his way to the semifinals here, folks.
The unneeded creature land.
Yep. A very, very impressive display here from the 2015 Players Champion. And this deck has been impressive every time we've watched it.
It's just run so smooth. Like you said, the lands, he always has all of the colors that he wants. The threats are so potent, and there's so many little synergies here between the Werewolf that can flip and then play cards on his opponent's turn, the Bounding Crassus, removing a blocker or untapping Jace or doing critical work like that along the way. All of the cards just seem to work together.
It's a one-sided affair there. Jim Davis is going to win this match over Collin Stiles, 2-0. Bant Company will take care of white-blue humans, as now Craig Krempels is 3 for 3.